Hey, I'm following my funny stories with Roy. Eric and a couple of my friends said they wanted to hear the story of the Volkswagen. It's kind of an famous story. Um, what happened was I was at the airport one morning when I worked down there at Executive Beechcraft, and around probably 5:30 in the morning or so, one of the janitorial guys called and said that his Volkswagen wouldn't start or wouldn't run. It would run, but it wouldn't go. He couldn't make it go. And he said, "Man, look, if I miss another day, I'm going to get fired. I got to get to work, and my car will not move. It'll start, but it won't move. I push on the gas, nothing happens." So I said, "Well, look, dude, I don't want you to get fired, so I'll come down there in a few minutes." And well, he lived right there in Riverside, real close to the airport. So I said, well, we'll. So I took one of the other guys in the company truck, and we went down there. And he lived in some apartments down there. And we got down there, and I said, well, what's it doing, man? I said, I don't have time to jack around here. I got to get back to the airport. And he goes, well, it starts, but it won't move. I can't make it move. And so I got in there and I started it up, and boy, the gas pedal just fell to the floor. You pull it up and down, it wouldn't rev up, it wouldn't do anything. And I said, well, um, we got to, he says, I got to get it down there so I can work on it before I leave work and blah, blah, blah. I said, well, all right, dude, look. I was in my 20s, remember this. I said, you get in the car and start it, and I'll sit in the back. Volkswagens have engines in the back. I'll sit on the back bumper, and I'll have the little hood up, and I'll sit on the back bumper, and I'll run the throttle with my hand, and you just, you drive it. And he looks at me and he says, what? I said, I'm going to sit on the bumper back here. It has that little, banana shaped bumper back there. I said, I'm going to sit on the bumper, and I'm going to hang on, and I'm going to run the throttle on the carburetor back here. And you just drive it. It was a stick shift. He goes, I don't know. I said, dude, look, get in there. So I told the guy that came with me in the executive Beechcraft truck, I said, just go on back to the airport. So I got on the back of his Volkswagen, and I sat on the bumper, and the bumpers kind of stick out on those things, so I was able to kind of get myself wedged in there. It's kind of gross, but like one butt cheek inside the thing and another one kind of on top of the bumper. I put my feet up on the bumper, and I wrapped my right arm around behind the engine. There's kind of a little place there behind the carburetor. And he started. I said, let's go. I said, push the clutch in. So he pushes the clutch in, and I started giving it gas there, and off we went. He let the clutch out, and tunk, 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 we took off. So we're going down the road there, we're getting out on 9 highway. And he's every time he needed to shift, I could hear the engine revving. He would shove the clutch in, and then I would let off the gas. And then I would hear him kind of letting out, and I would give it some gas, coordinated the thing. And so we're going down 9 highway, heading to the airport. And he suddenly realizes that he doesn't have any control of the velocity of this machine. He's driving it, but he can't control how fast it's going. And I got no idea how fast. I'm just sitting back there. So we're going down 9 highway, and we get on 169 Broadway, and we're passing cars. And I'm looking over at people, and they're freaking out. They're seeing this guy on the back of a Volkswagen. What the heck, And people like looking at me like, geez. And we're passing people. And finally, he realizes that if he just shoves the clutch in, he can stop the forward momentum of the vehicle. So, we're going 65 or whatever fast, and he shoves the clutch in, and that's my signal to let off the gas, and then he slows to a more, controlled speed, and then we're buzzing along there, and he let it out again, and there I was giving more throttle, and it's shifting. It was hard to do. Anyway, we got down to the airport, and we turned right there if you've driven down to the airport before, there used to be some big tanks there at the north end of the airport. We took that turn right there, and I could see it coming out of the corner of my eye where we were turning. And then he turned there, and then we stopped, and he let out the clutch, and clunk, clunk, we took off around the other side of the airport, and we got parked on the west side of the airport and got out of he got out of the thing, and he comes back there and he looks at me. He says, "You are the craziest so-and-so I have ever seen in my life. You are crazy." I said, "Well, you're here, aren't you?" He goes, "Yeah, man, but I I couldn't control how fast it was going. I said, well, you figured it out. I said, go on to work. And I went on the other side of the airport, and that's the story of the Volkswagen. That's the story of Roy. Have a good day. Bye-bye.